fire. He rocks in the treetop all the day long, hopping and a bopping and a singing his song. All the little birds on Jaybird Street love to hear the robin go tweet, tweet, tweet. Rockin' Robin, tweet, tweet, rock, rock, rockin' Robin, tweet, tweet. Oh, rockin' Robin, 'cause we're really gonna rock tonight. Every little swallow, every chickadee, every little bird in the tall oak tree. The wise or loud, the big black crow, flap for their wings, sing and go, birds go, rockin' Robin, sweet, sweet, rock, rock, rockin' Robin, sweet, sweet. Slow rockin' Robin, 'cause we're really gonna rock tonight. Slow. A pretty little raven at the birdman stand taught him how to do the bop, and it was grand. They started going steady and bless my soul. He out-popped the buzzard and the oriole. He rocks in the treetop all the day long, hopping and a popping and a singing his song. All the little birds on Jaybird Street love to hear the robin go tweet, tweet, tweet. Rockin' Robin, tweet, tweet, rock, rock, rockin' Robin, tweet. Slow rockin' Robin, 'cause we're really gonna rock tonight. Well, the pretty little raven at the birdman stand taught him how to do the pop, and it was grand. They started going steady and bless my soul. He out-popped the buzzard and the oriole. He rocks in the treetop all the day long, hopping and a bopping and a singing his song. All the little birds on Jaybird Street love to hear the robin go tweet, tweet, tweet. Rockin' Robin, tweet, rock, rock, rockin' Robin, slow rockin' Robin, 'cause we're really gonna rock tonight.
Honey, babe, ooh, honey, babe. Honey, babe, I like your kind of love.
That's good, baby, that's good.
Honey, babe, I like the way that you walk by. I like the way you swing your eye. I like your kind of love.
That's good, baby, that's good.
Every night, I like the way you beg for more and linger there outside the door. I like your kind of love.
That's good, baby, that's good.
Well, 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 ain't it swell? Can't reveal how I feel. No one else could ever thrill me like you do. You make my every dream come true. I like your kind of love.
That's good, baby, that's good.
Honey, babe, ooh, honey, babe. Honey, babe, I like you kind of love.
That's good, baby, that's good.
Honey, babe, I like the way you wear your clothes. My love for you just grows and grows. I like your kind of love. Honey, you know I do. When you're near, you don't know what you do to me. And that's the way it ought to be. I like your kind of love. Honey, you know I do. Don't you know I love you so? Can't you see that you're for me? Honey, babe, I like the way you hold my hand to make me know you understand. I like your kind of love. Honey, you know I do. Honey, babe, ooh, honey, babe. Honey, babe, I like you kind of love.
That's good, baby, that's good.
Ooh, honey, babe, I like you kind of love.
Don't mind dying. Doobie love, your good loving satisfies my time.
Some people like to rock, some people like to roll, but moving and a grooving's gonna satisfy my soul. Let's have a party. Let's have a party. The rest into the store. Let's buy some more. Let's have a party tonight. I never kissed a bear, I never kissed a goose, but I can shake a chicken in the middle of the room. Let's have a party. Let's have a party. The rest into the store. Let's buy some more. Let's have a party tonight. I never kissed a bear, I never kissed a goose, but I can shake a chicken in the middle of the room. Let's have a party. Let's have a party. The rest into the store. Let's buy some more. Let's have a party tonight. Honky Tonky Joe is knocking at the door. Bring him in and fill him up and sit him on the floor. Let's have a party. Let's have a party. The West End into the store. Let's buy some more. Let's have a party tonight. The meat is on the stove. The breads are getting hot. Everybody running, got the possum in the pot. Let's have a party. Let's have a party. The West End into the store. Let's buy some more. Let's have a party tonight. Let's have a party tonight. Let's have a party tonight.
Old man rhythm is in my shoes. It's no use to sitting and singing the blues. So be my guest, you've got nothing to lose. Won't you let me take you on a sea cruise? Ooh-wee, baby. Ooh-wee, baby. Ooh-wee, baby. Won't you let me take you on a sea cruise? Feel like jumping, baby, won't you join me, please? I don't like begging, but now I'm on bended knee. I got to get to rock and get my hat off the rack. I got to boogie woogie like a knife in the back. So be my guest, you've got nothing to lose. Won't you let me take you on a sea cruise? Ooh-wee, baby. Ooh-wee, baby. Ooh-wee, baby. Won't you let me take you on a sea cruise? I got to get to moving, baby, I ain't lying. My heart is beating rhythm and it's right on time. So be my guest, you've got nothing to lose. Won't you let me take you on a sea cruise? Ooh-wee,
Well, good afternoon, everyone. It is great to see all of your smiling faces, and it is great to see the sunshine peeking through the curtains, is it not? It's been sort of gray. I want to go ahead and start here this morning, not this morning, that's done over. Start this afternoon. I had a resident hand me this reflection, and I believe his sister gave it to him, but I want to share it with you, and it's called The Serenade of the Song Sparrow. And it goes like this. Outside my small cabin, hidden among the birch and pines on a northern Minnesota bluff, a song sparrow opens the dawn with the first of an all-day serenade. Cheerful and clear, it awakens not only my sleepy eyes, but my drowsy heart, too long dulled with the endless effort to meet the ego's daily requirements. Long into the afternoon and through the last layers of sunset, this tiny creature sings, 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 sings of what I do not know. Perhaps simply for the bliss of being alive in this lovely land. A happy song wrapped in the joy I often fail to notice amid my self-created burdens. When I leave this holy place, will the chirpy cadence of the song sparrow stay with me? Will it turn me toward the serenade of joy that is only a breath away? And then the sister at the bottom wrote her own reflection to add, I hope for each of you to have a song sparrow in your life this month. It may not be a bird. It may be a child, an unexpected taste of good food, a wildflower, your family pet, the look on the face of someone who loves you. Whoever and whatever your song sparrow might be, let it awaken you to joy. Let it sing you beyond the work and worries of the day into the harmony that resides at the core of who you are. I ask Chaplain Lori to come and pray for us.
Thank you, Tiffany, for the reminder that we are called to live with joy wherever we are. Let us bow in prayer. We give you thanks, O Creator God, for the tiny, tiny songs that come to us from the little creatures in our world. We thank you for the joy of friends' voices. Thank you for neighbors and friends. And I just pray that today, as we are here at town meeting, that Lord, your joy would be in us and that you would just continue to help us to live in your mission for our world. Thank you, God, that your peace and love and care is here. And I ask your guidance over our meeting today. In Christ's name I pray. Amen.
We'll now invite Billy Torrey to come up and give us an update from the auxiliary.
Hello, everyone. Welcome. I would like to update you on a few things. This is one of the projects last year in 2023 that we actually announced at our annual meeting. We added it to our project list, the Layman Spirit of Menno Haven Scholarship, in honor of Doris Layman, who was a former Menno Haven employee and has been on the Menno Haven Auxiliary Board for a number of years. The original thought was that we were going to give $3,000 or maybe divide it up between a couple of recipients, but the committee was so compelled to decide to give everyone that applied a scholarship. And the scholarship may have been as small as $70 to as much as the $3,000. So you can see there in the middle that we did do a total amount of $9,800 in scholarships for this year in 2024. The first recipient, Sam Pacelli, is a senior accountant here with the finance team, and she is furthering her education with a master's in business administration. And I should preference that the scholarship doesn't necessarily have to be for nursing. It can be for any team member in any department here that is looking to further their education anyway while they're here working at Menno Haven. The second recipient, Allison Warren, is an LPN in our Brookview Healthcare Center. She is furthering her education to become a registered nurse. Olivia Gutschall She is a resident assistant over at Chambers Point in the Manor Building in personal care, and she is going on to further her education as a licensed practical nurse. Sam Pence, she was an LPN over at the Chambers Point Healthcare Center, but has just recently transferred into the community nurse role with Carol Marotte. And she is getting a wound management certificate. She's enrolled in a wound management program. And our last recipient, Kelly Holt, is a team member at our memory care homes. And Kelly became a certified dementia practitioner. So those were the recipients of this year, yes, for 2024. And there is a committee that meets, and they have decided, like I said, to give all of these ladies yes, their requested amounts. And so we're already having ask for this year. People are found out about it, and so now they're looking forward to applying for the scholarship for next year. And that will happen in the fall, late summer and the fall. Then we will vote, the committee will vote on that to add to our project list in for 2025, and then those monies are paid out then to their college or the program as needed. Okay, and the last few things I have here to announce, this is something new the auxiliary is going to try, Pancakes and More with the Menno Haven Auxiliary. It will be held on Saturday, June 1st from 8 to 10 a.m. So you don't all have to come at 8 a.m. You can come anytime between there. I'm in a little bit of a panic that everybody's going to show up at 8 o'clock and we're not going to have enough seating. So spread it out a little bit. It will be at Jenny's Porch. And for those of you that are unaware where Jenny's Porch is, it is on the Chambers Point campus behind the Renaissance building. There is parking back there. It's the building that's closest to the Wilson College campus. And in case it's raining, we will move into the Laurel Room, which we will have people out giving directions if that is the case where the Laurel Room location is. And on the menu for that morning, we'll have some pancakes with fresh strawberry topping or syrup, bacon, sausage, mini muffins, fruit, hot and cold beverages will be available. And we're asking for a suggested donation of $6. You can pay by cash, check, or if you are a resident, you may come and just let us know, sign me up for 2 and the amount you would like to pay. And there's no RSV required, and you are welcome to bring a friend, a family member, whomever that you would like to bring. And just 2 more other things to save the date for that we'll get more information out closer to the time. The Music Fest will be Saturday, September the 21st here in the Event Center from 5:30 to 8. It will be a 60s themed. We'll have music by the Cruisers. They were the same band that was here last year, and we had a really rockin' time. So keep your eye out for more information on that as the auxiliary makes more details. And we will have Smith's Chicken Barbecue on Saturday, October the 5th at Lowe's in Chambersburg. And we usually have an option for delivery if you're unable to make it out there. I usually have 2 great volunteers that will help us do deliveries. So I think that's it, Tiffany. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you. All right. Well, I want to go through just a couple updates. The first thing that I want to talk about, and I confessed in the morning meeting, was that I can't remember if we publicly talked about this, if you talked about it. I feel like I talk about it all the time, and I forget who I actually talk about it to. So I'm going to review. So Menno Haven was in conversations with a local farmer, and I want to give you a little location here. And I'm sorry, I can't strategically point to the doohickey there. But if you see in the middle of the map, can everybody see where we are right now, right? See where we're at? So the piece of land we are talking about is up above us, that brown and green diamond checkerboard. You see it there? So Scotland Road runs into Sycamore Grove Road, and then that really awesome Cornertown Road cuts across to your left. Okay? So I just wanted to be, again, just very transparent that these conversations were happening. The idea is that when any land potentially comes for sale or comes open in the vicinity of us, right, we want to be able to potentially acquire that. However, at this point, we as, not me. I was going to say we as the board of directors, and that's not true. That's my boss. The board of directors and the senior team had met. We had met with the landowner, but unfortunately, at this time, we are too far apart on price. So at this point, we are walking away from that opportunity. But I kind of just want to plant that seed that, if you hear, oh, I see Menno Haven out tromping through some field somewhere. Well, we do that sometimes. And, it's because we do have people approaching us on a pretty consistent basis about potentially purchasing land. And, we know that to potentially be here for the next 60 years, we need to keep growing. I don't know what that looks like. But we always want to have those conversations. But at this point in time, we are and have walked away from this opportunity. Okay? And just remember, at the end, we'll have plenty of time for questions and answers. The other thing I wanted to talk about is if you have been in any of these meetings or a copy of conversation, you probably heard the name One Point. One Point is the consulting group that we have partnered with over the past several months that have been coming alongside us, helping us with our strategic plan, right? And we remember a lot of time when people say strategic planning, everybody just thinks what? Buildings, right? We're going to build stuff. Well, we've been building stuff. And so we're going to take a little break from building lots of stuff because we need to pay down some debt. But that doesn't mean we're just going to sit back, right? And we've talked in the past about maybe not focused on a 10-year strategic plan, but a 2, 3, 5-year strategic plan. And that's what One Point has come along beside us and has tried to help us get a clear vision of what those plans may be over the next couple years. So the conversations with One Point is not complete, but I always want to keep it in the forefront of our mind. So I wanted to kind of give you a little bit of an overview of what the latest is and what the things are we're working on. So some of the summary things that we're continuing to dig through is that in their eyes, they believe that there is potential at the Brookview campus about potentially adding more independent living. I'm looking at the screen and trying not to say higher density. But, that there are some spots on this community, and if we all shift our focus up beside the Northgate building, those of you that have lived here for a long time may recall that there was the original plans of Northgate to add a large additional wing to that building that has never come to fruition. But there is a plot of land there, right? And, again, many of you probably can reminisce about Mount Larry and Mount Davis. We like to call that big mound of dirt that was there forever. All right, and now it's just an open plot of land. And so One Point has come along and said, hey, we think you could put something there. What that is, we don't know yet. But the idea of increasing independent living is something that they feel like our very laser point focus should be. They've also called us to task that they believe that our expense structure, especially in our corporate, our overhead, is higher than it should be. Right? Now, if you sat in these meetings too and have been around our very astute CFO, he has been telling you we've got to get our expenses in line and that we are at that 15% range, and in our industry, we should be closer to 10, right? So that has been, right, a sort of a roadmap for us to get our act together and really rein in our expenses. The last piece that they really delve into finances and feasibility and just overall structure was that daunting question of the manor. If you recall, the Manor is our large personal care at our Chambers Point community. That building was built in the early 1900s, right? And there's been always this question back and forth, how long is that old girl going to stand, right? And in the concern of infrastructure and things of a building of that age. One Point has come along and helped sort of clear the mist that at this point in time, we are in no position to drop the Manor, right, and to replace it with something else. Currently, the Manor is contributing to the bottom line. So that's why last year I joked earlier today and said that she got a new hairdo. We put a new roof on her. And this year we are coming along and we are refurbishing the first floor of the Manor and updating the dining room. Because it is an older building. It's dark. There's no natural light in the hallways. But at this point in time, One Point has confirmed that the Manor needs to stand and needs to continue to be a part of our daily operations. So as we continue down the path with the One Point consultants, I will keep you apprised of what's happening. It's important that we remain transparent, but I just kind of wanted to give you a little inside kind of sneak peek of some of the things that we're working on with them. I want to shift gears a little bit here. This is a slide that our friend Jeremy Fry has provided us with, right? Have you seen these blue buckets sitting around? They're around. There are composting buckets. And I'm sure some of the volunteers who drag these things back and forth to Wilson College are very familiar with them. But your Residents Advisory Council for Sustainability has really encouraged and pushed with wonderful, wonderful results. This composting project with the Wilson Fulton Farm, located at Wilson College. So we want to just kind of give you a little snapshot so you know what we're talking about. And here's another slide that Jeremy has provided to show, in the month of March, we saved like 2,000 pounds of, what's he used there? I can't see it. Does it say scrap? What's that word say? Waste. Oh, that's even better. Waste reduction. But again, the idea was to save that waste out of our just overall dumpster, right? Because if we can dump that dumpster less, we save the bottom line. I also wanted to show that Jeremy talked to us about because these blue pails are not like the big honking gray trash cans that you typically find in the kitchen where stuff gets dumped into, the supervisory team in the culinary center and some other things can kind of look through, we don't like them diving in the dumpster, but kind of look through these blue bins and help educate and train our culinary staff that, hey, look how you cut this pepper. Right? This pepper, you could use this if you cut this way. Look how this pineapple was sliced. We can use this. And so it is an overall waste reduction mindset that we're really trying to employ. All right. Sticking on the culinary theme, we wanted to give you some visuals. I'm a visual person. I always need to put a face with a name. So I wanted to introduce you to two new gentlemen that are joining the culinary team. Nate Gibson is at the top. He is our training director. Both of these gentlemen have already got started. And then Paris Perez is the director of culinary at Chambers Point. So next time, I don't have it together this time, but next time I'll have Jeremy do us an entire organizational chart of the culinary team so you can see where everybody lines up. So Jeremy Fry is our executive director. You have Bill Powers, who was the previous director at Chambers Point, is now our impact director. We brought on Nate as the training director. We've got Lynn Lucas. We've got all these people. And so I want to make sure that you can see the faces and attach them to the names and locations so you really get to know everyone in our culinary area as a part of the leadership team of the culinary group and talk about their roles. But I wanted to get these two new fresh faces in front of you right away. All right, now I got to talk some serious business. I'm switching hats right now and I'm putting on my Roger Bynes hat. Currently, at this moment, we are in the midst of Leading Age PA, which Leading Age is a healthcare organization. It's a part of a lobbyist group, as well as an organization that helps with education, advocacy, and they are having their annual conference. So Roger is already there. As soon as we're done here, I'm heading to the conference, and some of our administrators. So I'm going to put my Roger hat on, but we do need to talk about something pretty serious. And he gave me a script, so I am going to read from the script so I don't mess things up. I'm going to start by telling you an incident that occurred at the Brookview Healthcare Center. On January 29th, a team member retaliated against a resident who hit the team member in the back. The resident hit the team member in the back, and the team member responded by swatting the hand of the resident that hit her. The team member then additionally told the resident she was being an ass. And then to add insult to injury by telling the resident she hoped the swat had hurt. So clearly, this is counter to our mission. It also meets the definition of abuse, and as such, we respond appropriately and report the incident as per law, as well as our response following the incident to the PA Department of Health, right? So we responded not only internally to our own personal policies, but then followed the regulation law and reported to the Department of Health. A nurse who was present and witnessed the incident reported it to the director of nursing in a matter of minutes. The team member was immediately removed and suspended, and as is our practice anywhere, as we complete an investigation per our protocol. After the investigation was completed, the team member was terminated, clearly. After that, 100% of the team members were re-in-serviced on abuse prevention within days. We captured every single team member within days to re-in-service them on what is abuse, what does it mean, what does it look like, and how it will not be tolerated here. On top of this sort of acute abuse education, anyone that is a new hire also gets abuse training, and then on top of that, we all go through it annually after that. So January 29th was when the incident occurred. 2 weeks later, on February 16th, 2 representatives from the Pennsylvania Department of Health conducted an abbreviated survey related to this incident, right? We immediately reported it. We follow all the procedures. It took them 2 weeks to get here. I have feelings about that, can you tell? Stick to the script. Ultimately, the surveyors cited the facility with 3 immediate jeopardy citations. Okay, so that's a J tag. And these tags, and it's a very complicated process, but I mentioned this morning, it's sort of like everyone remembers getting their report card, right? You're an A student, a B, C, D, F, okay? Well, in our line of business, to get an A is almost impossible. To get an A in the nursing world, especially with the office that surveys us, our Johnstown office, it is impossible. So our goal then is to be at least a B student, right? We're hoping for a B plus. With this incident and this J tag, immediate jeopardy, we're probably a D minus or a D plus. We're not an F, because if we received an F, the state would be here every day. They would limit us from having admissions, right? That there would have to be, that will never happen, right? That's terrible if we're an F. But this, what I'm calling a D grade, has been devastating, truly. 2 of the citations out of 3 were cited as past non-compliance, which means the issue was corrected prior to the surveyors arriving on scene, and no corrective action was required. However, one immediate jeopardy citation was left active. I'm going to go off script here. When I asked them to give me examples of what does it mean, what is another example of something that is immediate jeopardy, it's things like when the water gets shut off. So, stick to the script. Sorry. So one immediate jeopardy citation was left active, which required a plan of correction to be filed, which was done promptly, and all measures identified as corrections have been implemented. All right, so we've gone through the process, we put in the plan of correction, it was accepted. We have never seen this aggressive a response from the Department of Health. We believe the response is out of proportion to the actual incident. Let me repeat that. We are not saying that the incident was not bad. It was unacceptable. Unacceptable. But to mark us the same as a facility that doesn't pay their bills and their electric is going to get turned off, or they have no water, or they have no staff, or not the appropriate staff to take care of people, seemed excessive in our eyes. Again, it is never acceptable for a team member to respond the way she did, but our administration acted promptly and appropriately in a bad situation. So interestingly enough, on March the 11th, so end of January incident, 2 weeks in, middle of February they come, middle of March, March 11, Department of Health surveyors arrived back at the Brookview Healthcare Center to initiate their annual inspection, which happens every year, in which all regulations are reviewed top to bottom over a course of several days. After 2.5 days, the 3-member survey team exited Brookview Healthcare Center, citing one minor fraction. In one locked medication room inside a locked refrigerator, there was not a separate locked box for securing narcotic medication. In essence, the survey team felt a third level of securing narcotics was necessary behind the locked medication room inside the locked refrigerator. I have feelings. And I'm not trying to make light, because this has been devastating. It is just for my own mental health. I have feelings. The team corrected this before the survey team left, but it was still cited. The Brookview team was relieved and pleased with the outcome of this annual survey, but is difficult to reconcile this positive affirmation from this survey team with the results of what previously had happened. So the ramifications of this incident will be seen in our 5-star ratings. That's why I have this up here. And it'll happen over the next couple months. Their survey stars, which have been a steady rise, will drop significantly, despite the excellent annual survey. And they too will receive the red hand. So I don't know if we remember talking, or Roger talked about I call it the red hand of death, but it's not that bad, I'm being dramatic. But there is a little red hand that goes on the Department of Health website, and it's for consumers who are looking into a variety of nursing homes. And if you click on the little red hand, it'll give the citation lists of what, and everyone should check those if they're out shopping for a nursing home. So I was asked this morning, how long until we can dig back out of this? It'll probably be months to a year, as that survey process has to circle back around. So I want to be transparent, and I want to, and again, we'll have time for questions and answers at the end, but it's important to me, you know how stories can go, but this was a long tenured team member, 20-some years. And it was not someone that we had concerns about. Do I think she was probably going through something, had a bad day? Did she react inappropriately? Absolutely. And that will not be tolerated here. But we are sensitive that one bad incident is putting this curtain, it feels, over us. because that is something that we work really hard to live the mission here at Menno Haven. And I will tell you that as the administrator of the healthcare centers and the administrator of Chambers Point Healthcare Center, right, they have just been personally devastated, right? I have seen tears, I have seen anger. They take it personally, which in my heart, I'm glad they do, right? The mama bear in me wants to fix it for them, but I'm glad that they're reacting this way, because if they were indifferent, we would be in trouble. But it affirms to me that we have the right leadership in that building that is demanding our mission be met. But it's important to me that we be upfront about what has transpired. Okay? All right, let's switch gears. On a lighter note, I want to talk to you about the Menno Haven Cinema. I've received some calls recently about the current movie that is playing in the cinema. So I want to say this to you. Please read your Haven Connect, because it will give you the descriptions of the movies that are playing. I also encourage you to Google, ask someone, don't just show up because you might not be aware of the movie that is showing. We show a variety of genres, a variety of movie ratings. A lot of times movies are asked to be played that are resident requests, and everybody has a difference in opinions and taste levels. I have 2 TVs in my house because Tony and I can never agree to watch the same thing, ever. And if I really want time alone, I put on something foreign with subtitles. He's out. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. So we want to make sure that you have ample opportunity to know what is playing. And so our good friend Steve has tweaked the Life Center Cinema screen. So you will be able to see on the screen now what the ratings are for the movie. But I want to caution you, because the movie ratings are not always for the same reason. So if you see Rebel Without a Cause, which is a classic movie, it's NR, not rated, right? Because at that time when that movie was produced, the motion picture, whatever they're called, didn't have this rating system. Sometimes PG-13 could be because of language. Sometimes PG-13 could be for a bare bottom, right? It could have an R rating, and it might not be because of language or bare bottoms, but because of the subject matter, right? And if it's about, I don't know, kidnapping, or, if it's based on a story around someone who is raped, right? It's gonna, so these are a little deceiving, and I want to caution us. So I'm going to push back, I think, the responsibility to us all that we do double check what is playing. I think the addition of the rating should help be a visual cue. But I want to caution us that we are not going to only show G-rated movies. Okay, we need to be a little diverse. And we're not going to show only musicals. Tony would never come. But there are going to be a variety. So I'm going to try to delicately tiptoe through that there are movies and things that could potentially be shown that can be offensive to you. So please do that research. I appreciate the information put in the Haven Connect. And it is hard to please everyone, right? It is hard to please everyone. But continue to put in your requests because we would love to fill this with the majority of resident requests as possible. Okay? All right. Now I'm flipping gears and I'm putting my Tori Lorenz hat. I've been myself, Roger, and now Tori. We kind of joked today, Tori's trying to make up her mind if she's going to have her baby or not. So we gave her a free pass. Even though I keep telling her in my bucket list is to help somebody deliver a baby, I don't really want to do it today. I got places to be. So I'm going to give you a brief team services update. And we want to just compare the organizational turnover. So this is just comparing the last quarter of 2023 to the first quarter of 2024. And you can see that there is not much change. First year turnover is people that are coming in and are leaving without being here over a year. Okay? And this is a number that we work really, really hard to try to keep down. But I will tell you, we are all scrapping over the same people. So one thing that we are really kind of shifting our focus to right now is this idea of hiring slow and firing fast, which sounds aggressive. But I think that why this turnover number, and if we switch to the next turnover number, and I got caught off guard in this morning's town hall at Chambers Point because I was not following what these numbers are, but these are for the first quarter. So you can see in the first quarter that Menno Haven is well above our national average. I will tell you that we are cleaning house in a lot of areas and holding team members accountable for attendance. And if they are not a good fit, we are helping them to find a fit someplace else. Okay? But it is important to me when we go back to living that mission, and maybe I'm a little sensitive because of the past issue that has happened in our healthcare center, that we cannot just hire warm bodies with a pulse. That does not work. And that if we are coming across current team members that are not capable of living our mission, they got to go. They got to go. Now, I don't want it to spread through that I'm the hatchet man, right? I don't want that to be my legacy here. But what I do want to be my legacy here is this mission, and it starts with our team. Because honestly, I feel if we give priority to our team and we have a happy team, they will automatically and naturally make you happy. Bottom line. So we are very, very laser focused on our turnover. The beautiful part, though, is that we have seen a shift in the labor market. So you will see that we only have a 3.5% vacancy rate. That is amazing. That is amazing. So these are the positions that are open, and we don't have them all listed here. I mean, there's a variety of positions that are open, but these are some of the lowest open positions numbers that we have seen for some time. So that's really, really awesome. Okay, I'm going to step down and hand over the mic to our very own Ryan Fritz.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's great to see everybody come out here for the meeting today. As we get started here, I do want to say the numbers I'm going to be talking about are March 31st numbers that just ended the quarter, so the first 3 months year to date. Wrong direction. Okay. I want to start off by saying or sharing, our 2 required bond covenants to keep our debt holders, our bond holders happy with this. Our first one's our debt service coverage ratio. We're at 1.46. Required is 1.2, so we're about 0.24 above, 0.26 above what's required. Days cash on hand, we're at 325 days. The required is 150, so well above the requirement there. As we look at the first 3 months of the year, we're over in revenue by about $1 million over budget. And a lot of this is in our nursing home, our nursing business line. With that, I definitely got to give a shout out to the rehab center. Last year when we looked at the occupancy for the year, we were about 72%. So far for this year, we've been running closer to 88 or 90% for census, which is huge. And, I don't want to take anything away from the other areas also, because one of the things as we went into this year, we knew doing the budget, we knew last year our operating performance, we needed to get revenue up and control our expenses. So if we can get the census up, revenue goes up, and also continue to look at those expenses that we can drive down that have risen due to inflation and different things. But if we look at our total expenses for the year, we're over by about 670,000, somewhere in that range. Remember, the revenue was $1 million. We're over by, I'm just going to say 700,000. So we're better by 300,000 there. With that, a lot of this is still labor. We continue to see a decrease in our contracted and agency, which is a good thing, and also seeing those open positions actually a lot lower than what we've seen before with that. Looking at our non-operating revenue, we're about $2.8 million better than what we had budgeted. A lot of that is driven by the unrealized gains in the market. The market has been great to us this year. Not that it was bad to us last year, but in 2022 we definitely had a rough patch there as we go forwards. I think today the Dow's around 39,000, which is nearing the all-time high of almost right around 40,000 or 40,000. So overall, we had an increase in our net assets of 812,000. What we had budgeted was a decrease of 2.3 million. So we're definitely doing a lot better. We got off to a great start in 2024 as we go forwards, and we continue to see this progressing for the rest of the year to do better than what we had actually budgeted. This one, just wanted to share. Last year, we definitely seen, this one takes and goes back and looks a little bit at different years, how the cost per day increased. And last year, we're pushing 8-9%. This year, I think we're right around 5.1%, if I'm reading that right. But that was actually a little bit higher. So we anticipate that this is still going to come down as we go forwards. And again, the entire team, not just senior leadership, but the directors, everybody out there is actually looking at things and asking questions. What is this expense for? Do we need this? Is there a better option out there? So we continue to make strides in our financial performance. And again, we anticipate that this is going to continue with everything that we've been talking about and doing so far. So 2024 should be a great year for us. Thanks. And up next is Denise.
All right. I think this is my second time. They told me to adjust the microphone. So we're on it. Okay. Excellent. So I thought we'd start talking about Scotland Road. A lot of stuff still going on Scotland Road. We've had our first resident move in to the first finished villa. The second villa is near completion, and we'll have the second resident moving in mid to late June. So that is what's happening with the move-ins. You know that we've knocked down a house in order to create a beautiful front door for Menno Haven. So our grounds department and our maintenance department and us in the construction are working on a walking path to connect the villas to the Menno Haven main campus here on Scotland. And in that is kind of a path that's going to go between the 760s and the 770s building to kind of connect them to the back part of the community through their back door. We also have replaced some of the banners that are around the community to give it a freshened look, as well as planning and extensive landscaping around the entranceway so that we will have a nice, very polished front door. So that's what's happening on Scotland Road. As far as independent living, occupancy, or what the marketing team is actually working on right now, is we had a very successful Renaissance apartment open house. Today we have 5 Renaissance apartments that we are marketing. We have only 6 Brookview cottages, 2 of which have garages, and we're working through our Now Club, or Neighbors on the Way paid wait list. And then if you watch The Voice, and when the coaches all say, "My team is full," you will understand when I say we are full in Northgate Apartments, Chambers Point Cottages, and Brookview Villas. Now, while I say that, it's always short-lived, but we're going to enjoy it today. So Our team is happy, but we're also, we are busy in the marketing office, and we are actively adding members to our Now Club, our paid wait list on a regular basis. I think over the past week and a half, we've added 7 new Now Club members. So that's really good news, that as those prime villas, Northgate apartments, cottages come available, we have people who are waiting in line and ready to occupy those units. And then it's a matter of us, getting them refurbished and ready for new neighbors. So we're real excited about that. I want to turn our attention now to new roles and responsibilities. As we're always on the move, we're always have something in the cooker. So many of you know that Sam Pence, an LPN with the Chambers Point Healthcare Center, has recently joined under the Vice President of Community Life, the Community Nurses team. Sam's been with Menno Haven for about 7 years, and she specializes in wound care. So when you see her out and about with Carol Marotte, make sure you say hi and give her a warm welcome to her new role. We've had some increased demand in our transportation department because we're doing some things that are supporting many of the service lines here at Menno Haven, and so Janelle Fogelsonger is going to be moving over to our transportation department and helping to steady the ship there. And with that said, the leisure coordinator role that has been vacated as a result of that move will be filled by Corey Rotz, who is currently a caregiver with Menno Haven at home. So knowing a lot about who Menno Haven is, Corey comes to our team with, he is a 25-year Kennedy Center singer. He has traveled the world extensively. He exhibits skills in planning, programming, and event planning and party planning. So we think that he will be a great addition to our leisure coordinator. And then finally, with Suzanne Brown's recent retirement, we found that we had a move-in coordinator role position. And so our very own Jody Hershey, who's been with Menno Haven for a long time, will be shifting over into that position. We're very excited for her to bring a freshness to that role. And with that, we will be combining the admissions team with the sales and marketing team. So we will be known as the marketing, sales, and admissions team, focusing on all external admissions to all levels of care within Menno Haven. So that will be independent living. We already have personal care and memory care. And now we're adding that other component in our skilled settings. So we're really excited about these changes. More to come as we get our feet wet, but just thought that you would like to know about some of those changes. This evening, if you have nothing else to do, come back to this room because we are hosting a Lyme disease seminar here. Educating and learning how to protect yourself and your family is when you're best informed. So we have Dr. Moss coming from Osteopathic Health Center in Gettysburg to give us some information that hopefully will be very well received. We are also recording and will be rebroadcasting that event. So if you can't make it, you can watch it. Parking is strategic because it is open to the public. We have no idea how many people will be coming. Those of you who can walk, perhaps it's going to be a beautiful night to do that. That's called wellness and fitness. All right. I also want to thank everyone who is participating with our massage therapist here at the Haven Spa and Salon. Jeannie reports that she is having the time of her life and is very much just enjoying those of you who are participating in the spa services. With that said, she's also had some consultations with some of you, and so there's some additional service lines that are being added, aromatherapy, hot stone massage, and then we're changing around some of the lengths of time based on feedback that we're getting. Report is that every appointment in April was already taken, and in May, all but 2 are taken. So I said that earlier today, so I don't know if those 2 are already booked or not, but we're continuing to monitor that and get guidance from her based on the feedback that she's getting from all of you. So I hope that you're enjoying that service. We are very excited to have Jeannie as our partner here at Menno Haven. Next, I want to remind us that we have Heritage Week coming, September 15th through 21. So make sure that you have that on your calendar. It is a week that is going to commemorate our 60th anniversary. There will be details that you'll start seeing in Haven Connect and elsewhere. But it is a time for fun, food, fellowship, and a time for real remembrance of who Menno Haven has been over time, who we continue to be, and then where we're headed next. So Sunday the 15th, we will have a grand opening ceremony. We are planning for that to be held in this room. And then we're also planning to hopefully simulcast it so that we can have gatherings of residents, team members, family members in other areas of our community, so that everyone can be participating at the same time if they can't physically be in this building. On Monday, our culinary team is taking over with some kind of pie and food bake-off. More details will be coming on that. On Tuesday, we're encouraging everyone to wear Menno Haven colors. And there's also a plan for trivia night. And then Wednesday, this is the big plug that I need. We're looking for people to enter the cardboard boat regatta. So to build your boat, yes, we generally have this event in August. We're moving it to September. We feel that it kind of just embodies all that Menno Haven is and the spirit of Menno Haven. And so we've moved it to September. So if you would like to build a boat, we can help you have some instructions on how to do that. Thursday will be a theme day, a 60s theme day. More information to come on that. Friday is Anything Goes games, and then on Saturday, our team will be invited to a team member picnic for their families, and then, as Billy had alluded earlier today, the auxiliary will be having our closing ceremony with their 60th anniversary, or their 60s themed dinner, dance, and event. So, hope that you guys are planning to participate in all, or some of the events at that time. And then lastly, Tiff had talked about the lady at Chambers Point that has the new hairdo. I'm pleased to say that the project is underway. There in the picture, you will see that the ceiling tiles are currently being replaced. We have plans to paint and do flooring, do some new railing. We have chairs on order for the dining room. We are refurbishing the first floor restroom in the dining room and creating some other spaces that are sure to be wonderful. A family dining room so that residents can have a private space if they have a birthday and they want to have their family in for a dinner, and then some grab and go opportunities for team or anyone. So that's what I have. Thank you. And I think Chuck's gonna follow me next.
Okay. Hey, good afternoon. Beautiful day. Sun's coming out. Tomorrow's supposed to be beautiful, so enjoy it. Just wanted to show you, spring is here. These gardens, 5 years ago, nobody wanted a raised garden. I have a couple of people come in and ask me, and then a couple agreed to build 12 at Chambers Point, and then residents here wanted them. Well, we got about 50 here and 12 over there, and they're all full. And we have a couple that I think Ferris, they haven't started planning yet, so they might be available if they decide not to. But call Ferris Bidekoffer and or me, and we'll put you on a waiting list. Last year, if you remember, and I must confess, at least twice a day, I'd go by, there's a produce stand at the one up here at the lake, at the one over here at the greenhouse, and around the circle at Chambers Point. And I'd usually get something for dinner. So they're not quite ready yet, but it's nice produce. Okay, just want to tell you a little bit is going on. Our biggest challenge is benevolence. It's never going to go away. Wish it would. And that's one reason people come here. They never know if they themselves could need it someday. And all of you have been very generous. we have a goal of 750 this year. Our goal someday is to totally fund the development, the benevolent expense. And I think we will. And we have an appeal coming out in a few weeks. It's our mid-year appeal. You'll get a mailing, and find it in your heart to give. I always say, look in your heart and then reach in your wallet. So it's a great cause. The other thing is a Habitat house. It's been put off a little because Habitat, I've learned a lot. They're a first-rate organization. They do it right by the book. They have certain policies, and the individual that gets it has to be approved by HUD and then by them, and there's all kind of things you got to go into because they have to get a mortgage. They pay it back. And we're going to try to raise to sponsor this $250,000. They lost their project manager, and they've just hired a new one. So they asked us to put it off a little bit to September 1st. Believe it or not, they usually build 1, maybe 2. They're building 5 this year. There is such a need by people for housing. I think it's a great thing. So you'll be hearing more about that, and we've already raised some funds, and about half of it will come from what we hope are some of our vendors that do the building here and the construction, the concrete and roofing will donate their time, and they will, and a dollar amount goes to that to offset anything we'd have to put out. Branch Creek, I've talked to you about this before. It's a great program. It serves a couple hundred, at least daily, people in the greater Shippensburg area, and they wouldn't have anywhere else to go. And it does Meals on Wheels, and we have sponsored it for 5 or 6 years, but it runs about a $50,000 deficit. So we're going to try an appeal for that annually. We are getting one designed for the Shippensburg area for a lot of the businesses. And you've probably eaten them. I ate a few. The peanut butter eggs they make, they're pretty good. They made $8,000 off those. That's a lot of eggs. It's probably more profitable than chickens. So anyway, keep that in mind. You'll be seeing more about that. Menno's Care's great program. We have helped so many of our team members. In today's world, it's tough for a lot of people. And either a marital situation or their children need things or health care or whatever it may be, they can come to us and we help. We also give them turkeys at Thanksgiving and book bags for the kids to start back to school. So it's a great program. Yesterday, we just sent out an appeal to all our team members to get them involved, and I've already had a number of signed up for payroll deduction. So that's great. They want to help their other team members. Just wanted to remind you that we put the website up, a new one, and websites, believe me, are tough to keep updated. But Allie, my executive assistant, is great, and we're keeping updated. We're putting something on there every day. You want any information, just go to development.org or go to the Mennohaven website, and at the top you'll see Give. You can hit that. Doesn't mean you have to give then, but it'll take you right to our site, and you can give right on the site. So please take time to look at it. It'll be constantly updated. The gazebo here, if you walk the trail here up back at Northfield, a lot of people would go up there and sit. And the day I put out the appeal, a lady called me later in the afternoon, a resident up there. She says, "Chuck, I went to sit down. I was tired, and you had it roped off. That yellow tape, like someone got murdered there, but they didn't." And she said, "How much you need?" $10,000. She said, "I'll bring you a check tomorrow." And I said, "God bless you." So it'll be in there soon. And I'm just thinking, should I maybe tape other things I need around here? Not a bad idea. So the dog park is going great. I know a group meets down there. I think, Doc Baker, you're down there all the time, aren't you? About 4 o'clock. And we did put a gate in the middle. There were a couple of people, because we needed more room for the big dogs. and concerned about the little dogs. But I found little dogs, the big dogs are scared of the little dogs. So I told them, they wanted it 3 to 5, we'd close it. But we finally decided, well, who's going to do that? And so if you're down there, you're afraid, you want your little dogs separated, close the gates, they're easy to close. We made them that way, and then open them when you leave. So everybody's happy, and the dogs are happy. That's what's important. Have a resident at Chambers Point, likes to get his hair cut there, and he's given $45,000 to completely gut the salon over there. And I mean, it's nice. I was over there and watched our people and Tiffany and Denise picking out the colors and stuff, and I was amazed the knowledge they have. I didn't say anything because I didn't want them to yell at me because I know nothing about that, but it's going to be beautiful when it's done. We have finally we had a resident that paid to put a new gate at the patio at the north side of the health center over there and gated in, and we're getting the furniture refurbished and buying new furniture there, and we have a gate on it that has to be card access. Now, just to tell you how expensive things are, we've been waiting on the security gate. The security, it has to run a special line. It hooks into our card system, ran $17,000. But we can't have anybody running away, so we want them to be able to go out there. So it's ready to go, and we're excited about that. Okay, Nancy Myers, who is a highly respected local attorney with Salzman Hughes, husband's Judge Myers, she has developed quite a software program that's going nationwide that basically on your phone you can put your estate records, your will, your power of attorney, your medical records, everything on there. And if you're somewhere, we all need information these days, you have it right at your access. She's going to come put on a seminar, and she's providing a pilot program for her. The expense, I think anyway, is only like $4.95 a month, but she's going to waive that for a while. But please come here. It's pretty exciting. The annual report just went out today. I think it went on the development website yesterday, and I think it's on the Mennehaven website now. Most all corporations, whether they're for profit or non-profit, do an annual report. Last year was the first year we did it, but we did a lot of CCRCs and a lot of other organizations are not printing them out. Think if you own stock and you get these big, thick books, can you imagine what that costs? Last year, and we gave you the option to get it printed out, we only had 3 or 4 people that called and wanted them printed out. So we're doing it that way again. It saves us about $10,000. If you see it on there and you want a printed one, just give me a call and I'll bring one to you. So but it's very nicely done. Now, spiritual care is under me now, which I'm really excited about. Lori and I knew each other well before that, but the chaplains here are spectacular. And what they do here, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, they're on call to help people in need and to give them, they're more psychologists, but to give them the spiritual needs they have. And I like to, first I'll tell you that they are starting, they have an abiders program, and that's when you're working with people at the end of life, you volunteer. And then they have caring friends, which people are sick and they need someone to go visit with them and to read to them. Lori needs volunteers, so please give her a call. It's a great program. Also, we started something a couple of months ago. I went to the first one. It was great. I felt great when I got out. It's called Grounded. We have life planners, psychologists come in, residents and team members, and we sit in the hub room here, and we ask questions about life and things we've experienced. It's very fulfilling and very rewarding. Now, I always like to talk about something that's fun. I hear so many, I love stories, and I've heard so many from so many of you that Lori is a farmer her parents have a farm beside her, and she raises goats. But last year, she decided to get about 45 or 50 sheep, which I said, I can't believe that. Evidently, they're self-sufficient. They feed themselves, eat on the grass, go in the barn to sleep, and they're back out to eat in the day. Well, in the spring's a time of year, she wanted to have some of them pregnant. I guess they're all female, or however sheep are made, but they they brought in a ram to see if they could get a couple pregnant. Well, she said they hope in 15 or 16, and she said there could be as high as 40. They had to carry him out. He's about dead. So anyway, she was telling me that sheep only have 2 teats and that they can only feed 2 and they can have as many as 7. That one there looks like they have 7, and you have to feed the rest of them by bottle. So anybody that wants to volunteer to feed them, give Lori a call. Thank you. Have a great day.
I joked earlier that we needed to get the shepherd hook out to pull him off. Before we open up for questions and comments, and I do want to put a shout out. If you saw Haven today, we need people to sign up for Menno Haven Has Talent. There are 2 awesome days here. Well, there's more than just 2 awesome days, but 2 of my favorite days are the Cardboard Boat Regatta, as well as the Menno Haven Has Talent show. You do not need to be professional. It is a room filled with love. We would love for you to get up and share your talent with us. So the show is July 8th? I can't remember. Is it the 8th? So I don't know. I watch Haven today, I'll tell you. I had a script. It's in July. But I know that we are in need of some more acts, and we want you to sign up because we want to get the show planned. And again, you can have any talent you want. We would just like to showcase it. How many of you have been to past Menno Haven Has Talent shows? Are you coming back to this one? Yes. Oh, yes. I heard an oh, yes. So we need to put on a show, people. Sign up. Okay? All right. We have some microphones, Miss Billy and Miss Amy. So we'd like to open it up for any questions you might have right now. Aren't you proud of us? Look, we've been in here for an hour and 10 minutes. Boom. Yes, ma'am.
You were talking about the therapist is booked through May already. Any chance that she can have extra days? I know isn't she only working a couple of days?
Yeah, I think so. Just to summarize, your question is if all of the appointments are booked with Jeannie, the massage therapist, is there a potential for her to increase her days? I think that's possible. We also have a line of sight to some other massage therapists. If the book gets too full and we have a higher demand. So we are already got that in our back pocket if need be. Yes. Do you remember how many years it's taken us to find a massage therapist? I feel like such a failure. I give it to Denise and Billy, boom, done. It's terrible. Yes, dear.
Tiffany, on the same line as the massage therapist, the information about the new things that she's offering and the difference in times, can that go in the Haven Connect?
It is.
Oh, excellent. Thank you very much.
Okay, so updated information will be in the Haven Connect, and I heard Billy say you have flyers?
Yes, and
Okay.
I believe that Melissa's going to have you talk about it on Haven today as well.
Sounds good. Up front here, Mr. Vreeland. Up front here, Billy.
What is the occupancy rate at Chambers Point? Is it?
In their independent living?
Yes.
Full.
How about the entire building? Is that full?
The Renaissance building?
Yeah, yeah.
The Renaissance building, we're about 60, 70%. 65, let's meet in the middle. 65%.
Okay, thank you very much.
68%. My marketing queen is correcting me.
Now, one other question. An employee wants to further his or her education, and do we have a program here to help those people? And if so, is there a commitment that they have to make in order to participate?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Menno Haven does have a program, a policy and procedure for tuition reimbursement, schooling, things of that nature. There are a variety of scholarships that can be offered, but we also have a commitment, right? Depending on what the degree is, you will sign up and say that you will work for us for 3 years or for, whatever. There's a whole algorithm. And that if you do not meet that commitment, then you pay back what was left over.
Thank you.
Sure. Other comments, questions, concerns, and demands? Well, if you are not comfortable speaking out in a group, we will hang out afterwards. Oh, yes, not sold yet. Right before the gavel came down.
Yep, we received our statement today.
Okay.
And on there was a charge, I think it was $3.25 culinary charge that we have not seen before. Culinary charge.
Yep, a culinary charge.
I just don't know, what is that?
Okay.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
for
'cause we
people
did. We
watching,
went
what you
over
can't hear is
50.
the murmur of the crowd
Yeah.
saying that they went over their allotment from their dining dollars.
Yeah,
But
we
I would
went-
encourage you to reach out to Jeremy Fry or even Bill Powers here in the back. They can pull that account up and tell you exactly what it was
Okay, because we did go over 58 cents last month.
for. Ooh. Big spender. Other things for the good of the group. All right, thank you all for coming. We really appreciate it. Again, we'll stick around if you would like to speak individually and not speak out in the group. Have a fabulous rest of your afternoon, everybody.